Hey guys, welcome to an extremely delayed, overdue episode of the Commissioner's Office. I just wanted to take a few minutes, and I encourage everyone to kind of at least listen to the first part of this as kind of a time for a State of the League address, but getting some questions that I wanted to kind of all address at once and not write up a giant forum post about it. As a teaser, at the very end of this recording, I'm going to announce who is the winner of the free copy of Madden 18. Effectively the winner of the second best Sim GM of the cycle. So if you make it through the rest of the recording, you'll get to hear who wins that. So first I want to start off just reviewing the cycle so far. It's been amazing, and I want to thank everybody for being active and a contributing member and making it so fun. Couple of amazing factoids. Number one, not a single day has gone by this entire cycle. Not a single 24-hour period has gone by without 32 active players. Anytime we have had someone's life get in the way and get fairly inactive, we've been able to replace them pretty easily. That is definitely not just a me thing, because if I were having to replace people every day, there's no way I'd be able to keep up. So I just want to thank everybody for sticking with it. That includes a long list of guys that, we only have X number of people that are making the playoffs each season, and we have a lot of people that are able to find the fun in the game and find the team building and improve. And that just really goes a long way. That's, in my opinion, the most important thing about a healthy league is, do you keep everyone engaged, or is it just really a turnstile for the top, 6 or 7 guys who are rotating Super Bowls? So thank you. Second kind of incredible thing to me, I'm still surprised about this, is we are in season 7 right now, the year 2022, and we have a 7-person wait list. Like that's mind-boggling. So that is word of mouth. That is the hashtag momentum that the league has generated over the course of this cycle has really gotten out. I have people contacting me. Like, I went on vacation for 11 days and the wait list grew by 3 people while I was gone. From Reddit, from Daddy Leagues, from Operation Sports, just from Discord, from other leagues, etc. So it's pretty phenomenal, and this has been the most fun cycle of Madden that I've ever had. So I hope you guys feel the same. I wanted to address a couple quick things. Number one, we've gotten a few questions. I've kind of addressed it somewhat in chat, but a lot of you guys weren't necessarily there at the time. Plan for season 7 and beyond. So to be crystal clear, the expectation from the get-go has been for 7 official seasons. If you finish out season 7, you'll retain your priority for Madden 18. So at that point, I'm going to let whoever wants to, and I might even do this myself, take a break until Madden 18. Take a break for the summer. Take a few months off if you're not a year-round Madden guy. I don't want to force people to get super burnt out and force them to go 8 or 9 seasons. That said, I know we will have a large contingent of people that want to keep playing. A lot of people have said as much. So the file's not going to be shut down. We're absolutely going to continue onto season 8 and beyond. But just know, if you're kind of at that point where you're kind of in the doldrums, you're getting a little burnt out, or maybe you are already a bit burnt out, and you're kind of going through the motions, and you really don't want to have to go 12 months of Madden of the year, you don't have to. That's not what the league is about. So, but you don't lose your spot for Madden 18. Anyone that joins, because we're going to have some people taking advantage of that and taking the break for the summer. So anyone that joins after that, I will speak with personally and kind of manage expectations and make sure they understand that, hey, I can't guarantee you a spot in Madden 18 day 1, but this would be a good opportunity to get in some time to close out the cycle with the league, get to know guys, and be kind of first in line for a spot when they do open up and come Madden 18. Team selection criteria is starting to bubble up a little bit. Obviously still early, but I wanted to just give a quick note on how we'll be doing that. We're not going to be doing a thing like has been done in the past, where we line up the teams in order 1 through 32 and you each take turns picking a team. We're not going to do that. At the end of the day, I'm going to be placing people, but I want to be fairly transparent about the criteria that I'll be using. The top 2 things, and really the top thing is going to be fandom. I want to get guys on the teams that they're a fan of. And I also want to get guys on teams that they generally like, because obviously it's unrealistic to think that we're going to have 32 guys, all fans of a different team. That's just obviously not reality. But what I can do is as a consolation say, all right, so we can't have 6 different Cowboys fans all on the Cowboys, but try to get people on their second and third choice. And I would rather have, if you have 3 guys, I'd rather have them all on their second or third choice than have one guy on this first choice and the other 2 guys get screwed with teams that they really don't like at all. So, I don't know how realistic it is to say that nobody's going to get on a team that they don't like, but I think we can get awfully close to nobody. And I think the best way to do that for everyone is for me to lay out what teams do people want and to try to get everybody on a team that they're at least comfortable with. Tenure will certainly play a part in that. If you're a diehard fan of a team and there's another diehard fan of the team and they just joined the league, yeah, you're going to get priority over them. But tenure's not going to be the end-all be-all. If you've been around since day one and somebody else joined, a couple seasons ago or maybe in season 3 or something, and they are, let's say, a diehard Lions fan and you kind of just want to play with the Lions this year, you're not automatically going to get them over the fan. Again, my goal is to get as close as humanly possible to all 32 guys, either loving or liking the team that they're on. And that's going to be my number one goal there. I do think philosophically, just as a side note, that one of the most important factors in a healthy league is to make sure that it's not just a factory for keeping 10 people happy. That, and this goes beyond just team selection and into things like helping people that join the cycle late to get them up to speed, that I just think that it's really important that a league keeps all 32 teams as healthy as possible. And that will, in the long run, that will actually make those top 8 or 10 teams have more fun anyway. But that's the reason why this isn't just going to be based on tenure, and I feel very strongly about this. I also wanted to address August, which obviously is when Madden 18 is going to come out. Usually it's in the last week of August. Some of you saw in chat, some of you probably didn't, but I'm having a kid in August, my first kid, and I felt like it was important to at least address this. That's obviously a huge thing that will affect my time and my schedule. So I want to kind of talk to what I do know and what I don't know. What I do know absolutely 100% is I will not be giving up gaming. It's a hobby. It's a hobby that I love and do it for years. I have buddies in real life that have managed busy jobs plus kids and a marriage and still have plenty of time to game without shirking those other responsibilities. So I'm not really particularly worried about it. I think my wife's pretty supportive of that too. So I'm not really too worried that I'm going to be disappearing. But what I don't know, and I also anticipate that I'll be able to manage my time enough that I won't really have to give up full-time commish duties, even from day one. But that's the part I don't really know. I don't really know what that's going to be like. It's obviously a little bit different for everyone. I've heard everything from I'll have no time at all to I'll actually have more time initially because kids, like little babies, sleep for 16 hours a day. So my anticipation is that nothing will really change too much from a commissioner standpoint. I could see situations where I have to forfeit more games for a little while. If I have to quit games in the middle to go take care of baby or whatever. But just know that, number one, I'm not anticipating stepping away for any stretch of time. But because that is an unknown, I will absolutely have a backup plan in place that if it turns out, hey, I need to be semi-active or even fairly inactive for a stretch of a few weeks or even a couple months, we'll have a plan in place. But again, I don't plan to go anywhere. I'm pretty sure I'll be able to handle that time management appropriately. It's a lot easier to continue a league than it is to get a league started. So I don't think that this August is going to be anything close to the amount of the work that it took last August. But just know that that's, I didn't want this to be some unknown thing hovering over people for those who knew I was having a kid. I'm going into it with fairly open eyes, and we'll just make sure that if I've underestimated a particular aspect of it, or if something pops up that I couldn't have anticipated, we'll have a backup plan and option. We'll have a transition plan. We'll have a few guys that, we'll either take over or maybe they might have to just help out a little bit more than normal. But one way or another, I think it'll be smooth sailing. And with that, I wanted to announce the second best sim GM of the cycle. Really, there was no one close to the best GM, which was myself, obviously. For those who didn't see what I typed, the other day, I will always win this award. I will always be the first best, but in this particular case, it's also fairly earned. The top criteria for the free copy of Madden 18 is how guys build their teams, and then how those teams perform in the sim years. The second best, and this was actually very close between a couple of guys, but in the end, the second best sim GM of the cycle is Ryan Rain. Now, the only guy who made the playoffs every sim year and went far in the playoffs was me. But Ryan Rain went 15-1 in the first sim year. Now, you might say, oh, well, he inherited the Panthers and they were really good. And that's true, and that's totally fair. But then in season 4, he went 13-3 and made it to the conference championship, and it was even after losing Cam Newton. And then in his one down year, he still managed to go 8-8 and was only one game back from a third consecutive sim year division title. The other candidate, obviously, is if you win a Super Bowl in a sim year, as Sage Bus and Greatness did. Obviously, that puts you in contention. But both of those guys had not just one, but kind of a couple of seasons that were well behind the seasons that Ryan put up multiple years. So Ryan, congratulations to you. You get a free copy of Madden 18, courtesy of AWFL. Yeah, and hopefully we'll probably do the same thing in Madden 19. So I think it's always important to kind of just give that extra carrot at the end of the stick for guys to be incented to win during sim years. And that's part of it too. Is Ryan? He certainly wasn't the only one that did this, but Ryan constantly made moves to make his team better and win during sim years. Whereas I don't always see guys super actively doing that. So congratulations to Ryan. Want to again say thank you to everyone. It's been the cycle's not over, but it's just been an incredible cycle, and seems like this is the just like the most incredible season yet. Potentially, the parity is unreal. As of the time of this recording, the only AFC undefeated team is the Broncos, who have actually never made the playoffs. The only team that hasn't won yet is the Chargers, and they made the playoffs last user year. He's a very good user. And one of the undefeated user teams in the NFC is Ryan, who I actually don't think has made the playoffs in a user year yet. So you just have a lot of movement. And it's not because a team was unsuccessful and then a new user came along. These are the same guys year in and year out. So I love to see the movement from top to bottom and vice versa. It just shows the depth of talent that this league has developed. I look down my schedule and I see 11 or 12 games that I could lose if I don't play well. Whereas that's not something that really I ever saw in Madden 16. I could look down my schedule and go, there's 10 wins right there. Here's 2 more probable wins. And then here's 4 tough games. So it's been a lot of fun. And let's close it out and end the cycle with the best season yet.